So, hypothetically, you're a director with two goals in mind: to make your audience anxious and to tell a good story while doing just that. In today's lesson, we'll start with the biggest contributors and work our way to smaller mechanisms that greatly impact the whole. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines anxiety as an apprehensive uneasiness or nervousness, usually over an impending or anticipated misfortune. It's safe to say that one of the biggest contributors to stress is your surroundings. So, by placing your characters in constant, relatable situations that cause stress, it carries over to your audience. This can be anything: weddings, family and friends that are unpleasant, arguments with a loved one, or even something as simple as your coffee being cold.
Why did you just throw cold coffee on me?
I got it in the hallway. I thought it was hot.
I like where your head's at, sweetheart. That really could have worked out.
Or your chocolate chip cookie actually being an oatmeal raisin cookie. Not knocking oatmeal raisin, it just makes me mad when I'm expecting a chocolate chip, okay? The biggest reason the aforementioned events cause so much stress is the people you share it with. Sometimes people close to us are a little toxic, spreading rumors or talking behind our backs. Sometimes parents put unnecessary pressure on us because they want to see us succeed. So let's use the flaw that resides in every human to our advantage. For our story, we could create a character that has to make a decision between going with what he knows versus what others are telling him to do. And there's so much stress in this decision because he really just needs time to think, but time is running out. After all, life doesn't stop. This pressure could dive deep into our characters being sent into fight or flight mode. Outside pressure on our character is one thing, but for them to also make dumb decisions in the heat of the moment would greatly increase tension. Your characters making dumb but believable decisions can make the audience place themselves in your character's shoes. Things like deleting a prepared speech or sharing too much information with friends and colleagues are surefire ways to get your audience anxious to see how it all comes crashing down. There's nothing more relatable than messing up when under pressure. It's something every human being has felt. And if you haven't felt it, you're probably like a lizard person like Mark Zuckerberg. It's these very situations that will eventually make up our story. A story about a man or woman that has something on the horizon that will greatly affect their future. Regardless of their choice, everything leading up to that moment will be chaotic, and even if they do survive after friends and family ruin things, our character still has to deal with the consequences of how they handled the events we threw at them.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But what if stressing the audience out through situational anxiety wasn't enough? Well, my little sadist directors, let's talk about editing. Hard cuts out of the conversation are very jarring, but if placed at the perfect moment, it can keep us on our toes without being distracting. And rather than having your characters say how they feel, you can just cut to another scene. And it doesn't have to be something that happened, just a visual representation of your character's emotions spiraling out of control and their headspace overthinking. And what if, to keep things fresh and moving quickly, we show an event not exactly when it happens, but instead cut away just before, and later we show our characters frozen in thought, replaying the traumatic events in their head over and over. Essentially, we use the editing process as a way to further envelop our audience in our characters' stories because traumatic experiences often happen so fast, but looking back, it just feels like forever. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. And then your brain just rinses and repeats until your anxiety is through the roof.
Beautiful score.
The music is a very integral piece to every film, and our anxiety inducing project is no different. Perhaps to help with the pacing of our film, as well as to make our audience's heart as elevated as our characters, we could simplify the score. We could trade our typical orchestra for just 3 instruments. But what instruments would we pick? For this particular project, let's move ahead with 3 flautists. The sharp, quick notes and the occasional trill could build tension while also not feeling annoying. And because we only have 3 flautists, we could record our score in just a day, get that quick energy into the performances and thus into our audience. And because the score is so simple, we could fill in the gaps with sounds that typically freak out the average person, like whispers, loud pops, and static in an otherwise silent room. And the quiet noises could start as such, but suddenly, when our characters are self-aware and stressing out, the voices grow louder and louder, and it seems like everyone is watching. Audio mixing is very important, so I'm going to throw an idea out. Hypothetically, if one of our characters was deaf, this wouldn't just lead to some funny and stressful situations where the person can't hear, but it would also allow us to further place our audience in the character's shoes. For example, whenever we follow that character's perspective, have the audio channel that matches their ear. So if you're deaf in your right ear, just have it be silent, or at least just have like a crackly static. It would act as an audio cue for your viewers who are following the character in that moment. Just an idea, though. Just an idea. I'm just going to put that out there. To properly portray our characters, we're going to need the perfect actors. If our character is stressed out and impulsive, we're going to need an actor that has played a tired, disheveled person before. Someone like Robert Pattinson, who did fantastic as the Batman. I could foresee him giving his character temporomandibular disorder, or TMD for short, which is a group of disorders that affect the jaw. Stress can greatly affect how much pain the person with TMD experiences due to clenching the teeth. As for our co-star, maybe we could pick someone like Zendaya. She's had a lot of practice portraying stress in Euphoria, and she's already worked with Pattinson on the set of Dune and The Odyssey, so there would already be a little bit of chemistry there. Wait a minute. I think I've seen this movie before. The movie we recreated today is literally just the drama. It is a fantastic film that uses everything we talked about. I wanted it to kind of be like a little film school that we just went through, but I was literally just breaking down the drama. It is such a fantastic film. It literally just uses everything I just talked about to create the most uneasy watching experience for the viewer. I saw it 3 times in theaters. I've seen it 2 more times on DVD. If you have not seen it yet, I highly recommend it, especially if this video is intriguing to you. Now that the curtain is pulled away a little bit, there's a few things I wanted to talk about specifically that are spoilers. Pattinson's character, Charlie, having TMD isn't an official diagnosis because I'm not a doctor, but I did notice that he moved his jaw a lot in higher stress situations. My source, I also have TMD, and to release pressure in my jaw, I move it forward and down, which looks a lot like this. It's really nice seeing some representation outside that one joke from BoJack Horseman. Like, I was in the theater and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he has TMD just like me." And then, the way he was like moving his jaw, it was another visual cue for me to like, "Oh my gosh, Charlie is stressed out right now. He's having a hard time speaking because he can't move his jaw properly." Literally so relatable. And it's just a very simple thing that most people are going to look over, but I noticed it. I also think Zendaya was perfect casting as Emma because of her experience playing troubled teens, but she also has this silly but serious attitude to carry the emotional weight. It's clear throughout the performance that Emma's past was a traumatic experience, looking back, and she deeply regretted any harm she may have or almost caused. Like, whenever they're leading up in the dinner scene to her talking, and she's just there, like, breathing and she's going nonverbal, just like the look in her eyes. Oh my goodness, she's such a great actress. But what is has been said before. It's not like, breaking news. Women are great at acting too. Oh, I really liked the line.
It's performative by nature.
The whole cast cracks me up. Even their friend Rachel, I can't remember her name. The person who plays Rachel, I hate her character. I hate Rachel so much. I know Rachels in my life, not specifically named Rachel, but people that are like the character in the movie, and they suck. They're like the slime of the earth, and the fact that I I hated the character so much means that well, I should look up her name. Alana Haim, Haim, Alana Haim. I don't know how you pronounce it. She did fantastic as Rachel because I wanted to throttle her the entire time. I think Rachel was the worst person at the table for pressuring people to tell their deepest secret and then judge them for it. Like, you locked a kid in the closet and left him there without telling anyone. How is that not worse than being depressed and angry with the world? Obviously, if Emma actually went through with her plan, or if she didn't feel bad about it, this would be a different discussion, but that's not. I'm just taking it at face value as the movie presents it. Rachel locked a kid in the closet and still has not told anyone outside of that table. Like, that kid could have just died or been, kidnapped, and she just like, well, I didn't say anything about it because, it never came back to me. It's like, you suck. I hate you so much. Anyway, the drama, great movie, lots of twists and turns, very, very believable characters. I have not stopped thinking about this movie since I watched it. I think it was in March, maybe it was April. The second I saw that it was getting like a physical release, which it's A24, they're pretty good about that stuff. I was like, I am copping that because I love it so much. Easily the #1 movie of the year. And Anyway, that's all I got for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. It was a little bit different style of video, but it was really fun to, kind of put together. And yeah, consider leaving a like if you enjoyed it. If not, no biggie. I love you guys. Bye bye for now.